Uh,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Should we start? I think if you have joined today, I don't know why. Should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So last class we had learned a little bit about infrastructure related to cloud computing, and then we had finished that second unit, and we had started with the third unit. This third unit is all about software as a service, that is SaaS. So in the last few classes, especially in the last class, we once again revised what is software as a service. What are one very good example of software as a service is any email service that is given to you, where your emails are saved, are stored on the cloud or on the provider's storage. So generally, for example, if Gmail you are using or Yahoo you are using, your emails are going to be stored on the email service provider's cloud. Okay. So that we learned last time, and we also learned pros and cons of software as a service, some of the advantages that we get and certain drawbacks that we have to face if we are using software as a service. Now, if you are looking at the cloud computing market or the products, which are cloud-based products, software products, there are a number of reasons why cloud-based products or cloud-based services, particularly SaaS services, have become quite popular. Okay. Now, the popularity, there are certain reasons, there are certain driving forces which have made these cloud services quite popular. Now, driving forces means the factors which are responsible for making cloud computing products quite significant and popular among the masses. Especially when it was introduced, people did not know its advantages. People did not know the kind of benefits that they're going to get. But over the period of time, as and how the number of users increased, lot of organizations, particularly small organizations and enterprises, who cannot invest a lot of money in buying professional software, they can very well make use of SaaS. So the popularity of cloud services is one of the reasons why many people or many users make use of cloud computing services. So popularity, why they have become popular, why cloud services have become popular. One reason is software vendors love it. Software vendors love it means suppliers or particularly people who are providing the cloud services, they themselves find these services quite useful and quite beneficiary, at the same time very profitable for themselves. Now, enterprises love it. Enterprises means small enterprises, organizations, users, clients who subscribe the cloud services, who are cloud consumers. They also like it. The reason is they don't have to invest much. They can make use of high-end software without, actually buying it and installing it. So even if their enterprise is very small, they belong to a very small city or a town, they can still make use of global services which are provided through a cloud base. Okay. And there are a number of SaaS platforms which are available nowadays in the market. So end users have a choice. They are not forced to use one kind of a service or one kind of a software. They have a lot of choice from which they can choose the software that they want, and they can get the benefits. So cost wise, or maybe utility wise, these softwares are very useful to small users, small enterprises, individuals or entrepreneurs. To them, investing in high-end software could be very difficult. For such people, these kind of services are very useful. Second reason why cloud computing services have become significant is because of virtualization benefits. We all know cloud services are made available to the end user through virtualization. Last class, we were revising what is virtualization once again. Your software is available at the server side. Through virtualization, we are making it available to the client. So as it is, maybe in a virtualized environment, even if you don't have that much amount of memory space, you don't have storage space, you're still able to use those the benefits that the server or the cloud provider is providing you. So virtualization provides huge benefits, particularly to small users and clients who cannot afford to buy high-end hardware or maybe high-end software for their own enterprises. Third reason is service-oriented architecture. Most of the software as a service, that is SaaS applications that we have, they are all oriented towards the processes that are there in our organizations. In our organization, most of the processes are getting automated now. All the business processes, they are getting automated. So for them, these kind of services are very useful. They provide a framework through which most of the organizations can carry out their day-to-day activities very easily. Third is economic impact. Cost-wise, if you're thinking, the cost of SaaS applications is quite less. The subscription fee, you just have to rent the software. You don't have to buy it. So in particularly in slow economic environments where growing economies are there, or maybe backward countries are there who are just gaining some economic impact. In such countries also, these enterprises can make use of SaaS, because such applications are available to you at a small cost, not at a very high cost. Okay. Now, what we have to learn next is different companies. What are their names? Who are providing software as a service, SaaS applications to the end users or the masses in general. There are a number of companies all over the world. Now, again, this book is 20 years back. The book was written, say, 15, 16 years back. So the data is not up to date, which I have told you from the first day itself yet. Whatever is there in the syllabus, I need to cover. So some of the important cloud providers who have come up with these cloud-based products that can be used by enterprises, we are just going to understand what are their products and what are their names, and also the features that they provide. Okay, so one important company is Intuit. It's an American company. It has developed accounting software, which is a cloud-based software, just like Tally or something, where you can do your daily financial transactions, particularly a small enterprise. If they want to maintain their financial transactions for their own enterprise, they can do it using this Intuit QuickBooks. And I've tried to put a small, a diagram there on the slide, which is showing you that Intuit QuickBooks as such allows you to have a look at your financial data graphically. That is, the user interface is really good. Lot of your data which is there in the database, that can be crunched. It can be statistically summarized and visualized and made available to the end user in a graphical format. If you all can see, a lot of pie charts are used, or bar charts are used, column charts are used to display the data. Visually, that kind of display is more appealing to the end user. So QuickBooks is one such SaaS application. It's accounting software. It has got a lot of features. I've put up the points on the slide, very easy to understand. Most of your transactions, they are available to you, financial transactions. That data is available to you 24/7 because it's on the cloud. No need to buy and install the software. There's going to be backup facility available. Very easily you can maintain the records like accounts receivable and accounts payable. And the last point that is there is say a point which was more relevant 15 years back when iPhones and accessing data through iPhones or BlackBerry phones during those times was a big deal. So such capacity was also built into QuickBooks. As I told you, QuickBooks was developed by Intuit. Okay. One more very big software giant which provides us with a lot of cloud-based offerings or cloud-based applications. In fact, most of us, without our knowledge, we are using them. They're all cloud-based services. They all are examples of SaaS applications, are Google Apps. Now, there are about 131 Google Apps, it seems. I was just Googling to check how many Google Apps are there. But some of them we have commonly used, like Google Calendar is there, or Google Drive is there, Gmail is there, and there are so many more. Okay, Chrome is there. Most of the applications that Google provides us, all these Google apps are cloud-based apps. They are software as a service. We are directly, it's a ready-made software. We are directly using it on our machines. Okay, another company, another huge software giant which provides cloud services, particularly SaaS applications, is Microsoft. It has got a number of products like Microsoft Store Manager, some e-commerce tools are there, email marketing is there, which is in the beta version. All these tools are cloud-based tools. Again, I have tried to put what is there in your book, which is again very old data, because I need to cover it as a part of syllabus. But most of them are available with the updated versions and the latest versions nowadays. And many of these features are, in fact, some of you are already using them. These Microsoft cloud-based software that we have, they have a lot of features like, design capabilities are very rich, or customer relationship management software is there. Very easily you can make use of them to get the feedback from the customer. Okay, these services and these applications can be accessed on Mac, that is on a Mac computer, or on any other type of PC as well. Again, this point is with reference to what was existing, say 10-15 years back. Today, most of the applications are platform independent, so you can easily port them from one machine to another. Okay. Then another important company which provides SaaS applications is IBM. They have a SaaS solution called Blue Cloud, and they are basically into corporate data centers. That is for corporate companies, huge companies. They allow them to create their own data centers so that data can be stored on the cloud. So huge database capacity they are providing to big companies. That's why they are called as corporate data centers. They also make available software architectures. Different software architectures are made available to them, to the companies. And some of the important features of these applications that are provided by IBM are, most of them are open source software. Security, privacy, and reliability are some of the important features available in these software. And a lot of research support is also there. These software applications are updated every now and then based on the research that is made available to the developers. So IBM is another company which provides us with SaaS solutions. Now, cloud computing as such and software as a service in particular can be used in a number of industries. If you're looking at different areas where cloud services are applied, are used, a huge number of industries make use of cloud services. One important industry where cloud services or SaaS applications are commonly used is healthcare sector or the healthcare industry. Now, in healthcare industry, there are a number of software available. Two of them are discussed here. One is Microsoft's Health Vault and another is Advanced MD. Both of them are SaaS applications, And both of them are used in the healthcare sector very commonly, very popular software these are. Okay, now as it is telling you, Microsoft Health Vault is healthcare software which can be used to store, access, update information about patients and their health. And also, these applications are made available to various organizations in the healthcare sector. The data can be shared if required from one organization to another, particularly through Microsoft's Health Vault. So Health Vault is a SaaS application. Like that, Advanced MD is another SaaS application, and it is commonly used for medical billing, that is in hospitals or maybe in clinics. Billing software is provided by Advanced MD, and again, it's a web-based software. Okay. Another industry where commonly the SaaS applications can be used is construction. Okay, in civil engineering, in architectural engineering, or construction software is commonly made available to these engineers through this software, which is called as CMIC. It's a name of a SaaS application which can be used by engineers, particularly in civil engineering area. Like that, WebEx is providing a lot of people to collaborate with each other, and particularly, if at all people are remotely situated, they can collaborate, they can meet virtually, or they can manage tasks like maybe training, sales, events. And these tasks are web-based tasks. Also, they are getting cloud support there. So one such collaboration software which can be used by different corporations, especially in the pandemic situation, if you've seen, people are all not coming to office every day. They are in their native places, they are at their homes, and they are working. So if people want to talk, if they want to collaborate and do tasks, there WebEx is providing a lot of cloud-based software which can do a number of tasks as has been shown on this particular slide. Okay, another industry where this cloud application, particularly SaaS applications, are applied and used are retail industry. Retail industry is, say, retailers like Big Bazaar or maybe Reliance. They may have their own software, of course, or maybe small supermarkets that are there, or even shops. They can make use of these cloud-based software. One such so industry is retail industry, and the software name is Epicor. It is a software solution, that is a SaaS application for retailers, like maybe people who have showrooms or who have supermarkets. They can make use of this software. They can use this software for merchandising, where to place which product, how much to cost, how much cost should be put up on them, or how should that particular product be put into the market, or maybe business intelligence solutions, like whether this particular product will do well in the market or not. Such solutions are provided. Point of sales is there, POS in the sense, point of sales, like particularly suppose you have gone to a supermarket and you have bought all your products and you go to the counter. The moment you go to the counter, every item, its barcode is scanned and that data is captured and stored into the database. What is happening there is a point of sales terminal is there and a POS software is there, which will read the data, do the billing, and provide the bill to the end user. That is called as point of sales. Once sales is done, audit about the sales can be a part of Epicor, and customer relationship management, again, as I was telling you, particularly to get feedback or to get customer inputs. This customer relationship management software is very, very useful. All these features are included in Epicor. One more important software, SaaS application, which is used in the banking sector is OpenChannel. It's a SaaS application for online banking. Nowadays, that is not a big deal. Online banking is very old now, quite ripe, you can say. Lot of organizations, lot of banks themselves provide you with the online banking ability. So security of your data, online bill payments, electronic bill payments in the sense online bill payments. What you're doing every now and then through Google Pay and all that, it's online bill payment. Okay, mobile banking and payments. Again, this, as I told you, these points are a little old because the book is subscribed to you is old. All these things you have used now. Name of the software you should remember, that is OpenChannel. Okay, so some important companies that provide us with SaaS applications and the different industries where these SaaS applications have been applied, have been used, that we have discussed. Some of them are Intuit, Google, Microsoft, IBM, in healthcare industry, in collaboration, construction, retail, and banking. And in fact, many more industries are there which make use of the cloud-based solutions. Okay. Now, I also wanted to continue and take up software and service, that is software plus service, S&S. I wanted to cover this today, but we can discuss this in the next class. If you people have any doubts, I don't think this is very easy what we learned today. Names of different software companies who provide cloud solutions, what are their features, and different areas or industries or sectors where cloud applications are employed, that we learned today. Again, you can update this knowledge of yours. I have tried to cover what is in the book because that is what will be expected in the exam. Now, this is what I can say. I am really not happy with this, but can't help. Even if updated information is available, generally when you write the exam, this is what is expected. Because those who teach this subject, they also should be updated. Otherwise, they will expect you to write this answer. And if you have not written this answer, then maybe you lose marks. That's our system. We can't help. So I want you to understand that the points that I have put here, some of them may not be up to date, but definitely what is there in the book, I have tried to cover. Okay. If you have any doubts, raise your hands. You can ask me. All of you, I want you all to enter your attendance in the chat box. All of you are clear with what we learned today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We will stop here and we will continue in the next class.